Effective implementation of test, track, treat policy ensures that active cases in India stand at less than 1/4 of the total COVID cases. Higher number of recoveries and declining fatality shows graded strategy has worked. Over 20 lakh patients recovered from coronavirus. More than 60,000 patients recover in the last 24 hours. COVID cases worldwide rises to over 2 crore 23 lakh with 7 lakh 84,000 fatalities. WHO urges wealthier nations to share vaccine hopefuls with developing countries. Sends letter to its 194 member states urging participation. Joe Biden officially nominated Democratic candidate for the 2020 US presidential elections, challenges incumbent President Donald Trump in the November elections. Biden calls the nomination honor of his life. Mali President Ibrahim resigns from his post and announces dissolution of parliament. Earlier, military staged a coup and detained the president, prime minister and the top officials. And Paris SaintGermain entered the Champions League final. PSG becomes the first French team to reach a UEFA Champions League final in 16 years. Registers a 3-0 win against German club RB Leipzig in the semi-finals. Good morning. Welcome to English News. I am Anil Thomas. Now for the stories in detail. Starting first up, we're taking a look at the update on COVID-19 from across the country. The recovery rate in India has crossed 73%, while the case fatality rate continues to remain low at 1.91%. Over 20 lakh people have now recovered from the virus. 60,091 recoveries were recorded on Tuesday, taking the cumulative total to 20,37,870 people. With this, the recovery rate currently stands at 73.64%. Due to the three-pronged strategy of test, trace and treat, the fatality rate is continuously dropping. It now stands at 1.91% with 52,889 deaths recorded so far. With nearly 9 lakh tests being conducted each day, the number of active COVID-19 cases in India stand at 6,76,514, which is 24.45% of the total cases reported so far. Further, according to the Indian Council of Medical Research, the total samples tested so far are 3,17,42,782. That includes 8,01,518 samples that were tested on Tuesday itself. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare informed that effective implementation of the policy of test, track and treat has ensured active cases in the country to be less than 1/4 of the total COVID-19 cases. Higher number of recoveries and declining fatality has shown India's graded strategy to work. Parliamentary Committee for Home will meet today to consider the management of COVID-19 pandemic and related issues. The committee is headed by Congress leader Anand Sharma. Discussions will be held on the initiatives taken by the central government for the management of the pandemic. In the past meetings, the committee members were informed about the measures taken towards management of the COVID crisis. Besides, the Parliamentary Committee for Health has also chosen the topic of discussion on the measures taken to prevent the corona pandemic. Union Minister of Information Technology Ravi Shankar Prasad on Tuesday launched the Swadeshi microprocessor challenge, Innovate Solutions for Atmanirbhar Bharat, to provide further impetus to the strong ecosystem of startup, innovation and research in the country. The challenge has invited innovators, startups and students to develop solutions on 2 indigenously developed microprocessors built by IIT Madras and CDAC. The challenge, spread over 10 months, kick-started with the registration process through that MyGov portal on Tuesday and will culminate in June of 2021. This is an opportunity for 100 semi-finalists to win a total of 1 crore as development funds. 25 finalists will win a total of 1 crore award money that will act as a prototype development fund award. The Swadeshi microprocessor challenge is part of the series of proactive, preemptive and graded measures taken by the Ministry of Electronics and IT to spur the technology-led innovation ecosystem in the country and staying at the forefront of digital adoption. It will also help realize the ambition of self-reliant India. Well, taking a quick update on the flood situation in Bihar and Assam, starting first up with Bihar. The flood situation in Bihar remains critical even as the catchment areas of various rivers receive scanty rainfall during the past 24 hours. Over 81,59,000 people across 16 districts are reeling under intense floods. 12 relief camps are being run in flood-affected areas where over 13,000 people are taking shelter. Apart from this, cooked food is being provided to more than 4,20,000 people through 540 community kitchens. 27 teams of SDRF and NDRF are engaged in rescue and relief operations in the flood-affected areas. Rivers Bagmati, Buri Gandak are also flowing above the danger marks at some places. Rest of the rivers that include Mahananda and its tributaries have gone below the danger mark and have adopted the receding trend. The Met Department has predicted light to moderate rainfall in Bihar for the next 2 to 3 days. Shifting to Assam, where life has returned to normalcy in most parts of the state as flood waters receded considerably in the last few days. Currently, only 4 districts, namely Dhemaji, Lakhimpur, Baksa and Charidev are reeling under flood water. However, the Brahmaputra is flowing above the danger mark at Nimati Ghat, Tezpur, Dikhau, Dubri, Dhansiri and Zia Barali. Although 142 persons are housed in relief camps, with 1 person's death being reported on Tuesday, the death toll in this current wave of floods has gone up to 113. Shifting down south to Kerala, where the death toll in the massive landslide in Idukki district rose to 61 today, with 3 more bodies being recovered on Tuesday. A massive landslide crushed a settlement of tea estate workers in Munnar in Idukki in Kerala on August 6th. In a special review meeting held at Munnar on Sunday, it was decided to continue the search operations till the last body is recovered. The search now is more focused on the river flowing nearby. Search team is also taking help of the tribal youth belonging to the Idamkudi tribal settlement who are more familiar with the river and the area surrounding it. In Uttar Pradesh, hundreds of villages across 16 districts in the eastern parts of the state are reeling under floods. Rain and water coming from the upper hilly regions and Nepal have caused floods in various parts of the state. 838 villages of 16 districts are affected by flood, out of which 520 villages were inundated. The worst affected districts include Ayodhya, Barabanki, Badayu, Gonda, Gorakhpur, Kushinagar and Sitapur. Many rivers including Sharda, Gagra and Sarayu are flowing above the danger mark at several places in Lakhimpur Kheri, Barabanki, Ayodhya and Balia district. 331 shelter houses are currently operational where ration kits containing enough food grains and other items are being provided. A total of 22 teams of NDRF and SDRF including 7 PAC companies have been put on duty for relief work. The Supreme Court will pronounce its verdict today whether CBI should investigate the Sushant Singh Rajput case. Justice Rishikesh Roy will give the verdict on a petition filed by actor Riya Chakraborty. Riya has also sought the transfer of the FIR lodged by Rajput's father in Patna to Mumbai, where the actor committed suicide. The Bihar government had referred the Patna FIR to the CBI, leading to the centre to ask the investigating agency to take up the case. However, Maharashtra government had opposed the centre's decision to hand over the case to CBI and said the Patna FIR should be transferred to Mumbai police, in whose jurisdiction the incident happened. Mumbai police are yet to register an FIR and have continued their inquiry under an accidental death report. Sushant Singh had died on the 14th of June. A major fire broke out at a substation of Noida Power Company Limited in Sector 148 in Noida. The fire was reported around 8:30 a.m. in a transformer at the power station. Fire tenders are at the spot to douse the fire. Firefighting operations are currently underway. A dark, thick cloud cover and fresh short spell of rains made the weather pleasant in the national capital. Such rainfall at the start of the day has led to traffic on the roads and waterlogging in some key stretches of the major roads in the city. Met Department has predicted light to moderate intensity rain over and adjoining the areas till August 25th. Several other areas have also received heavy rainfall and are experiencing heavy waterlogging in adjoining areas of Delhi like Palwal, Faridabad, Gurugram and in parts adjoining Delhi. The IMD has predicted rain in Faridabad and other nearby areas during the day. Foreign Secretary Harshvardhan Shringla called on Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina at her official residence on Tuesday night. Confirming this, the High Commissioner of India to Bangladesh, Riva Ganguly Das, said that the Foreign Secretary Shringla conveyed the message to Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina that Bangladesh and India have deep relations and India will continue to be a committed development partner of Bangladesh. Talking to a small group of media persons in Dhaka, Riva Ganguly Das said that India has a special and close relationship with Bangladesh, which is reflected in the fact that the Foreign Secretary has come to meet the Prime Minister with this message despite the ongoing pandemic. During the meeting of Foreign Secretary with the Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, various aspects of bilateral relations, including development partnership, enhancing connectivity, assistance on COVID-19 and post-COVID-19 cooperation to revive economy were discussed. Satisfaction was expressed that despite the COVID pandemic, both sides could sustain momentum in bilateral ties, particularly in the areas of connectivity and trade. This is the second visit of Harshvardhan Shringla to Bangladesh this year after taking over as the Foreign Secretary of India. He had earlier paid a visit to Bangladesh in March in connection with the planned visit of Prime Minister Narendra Modi to participate in the Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujib centenary celebration, which could not take place due to the outbreak of the corona pandemic. Moving to US elections, Joe Biden has officially been nominated the Democratic presidential candidate at the party's unprecedented virtual convention to challenge Republican incumbent President Donald Trump in the November 3rd election. Biden, at 77, who served as the Vice President of the United States for 8 years from January of 2009 to the January of 2017, would deliver his acceptance speech on Thursday. That's tomorrow. Following the announcement, Biden tweeted, "It's an honor of my life to accept the Democratic Party's nomination for President of the United States of America." Democratic Party delegates from 50 states nominated him in the unprecedented virtual convention on Tuesday due to the raging coronavirus pandemic in the country. The US presidential elections will be held on November 3rd. Well, Mali's President Ibrahim Keita resigned later on Tuesday night after being detained by soldiers. In a televised address, the president also announced dissolution of the government and parliament. Development comes hours after military staged a coup and detained the president, prime minister and top officials. They were taken to a military camp near the capital, Bamako. Ibrahim won a second term in elections in 2018, but there was anger over corruption, the mismanagement of the economy and the rise of communal violence in areas of the country. It has prompted several large protests in recent months. A new opposition coalition led by the conservative Imam Mohammed Diko has called for reforms after rejecting concessions from Ibrahim, including the formation of a unity government. Indian Embassy in Mali has requested members of the Indian community in Mali to stay at their homes in view of the evolving situation in the country. In case of any need, they can contact the embassy's helpline number 0022 377 253 179. I repeat the number 002237725317. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh today made the opening remarks at the Naval Commanders Conference of 2020 in New Delhi. Chief of the Naval Staff Admiral Karambir Singh also addressed the Navy commanders. The three-day conference will also witness discussion on major operational, material, logistics, HR training and administrative activities undertaken during the year, and also deliberations upon the courses to be steered in the future. This is the first Naval Commanders Conference since the institution of the Department of Military Affairs and the Chief of Defence Staff. It will conclude on the 21st of this month. In keeping with the Prime Minister's vision of Sagar, that security and growth for all in the region, the commanders would also undertake deliberations upon the larger security imperatives in the Indo-Pacific region. Well, time now to take a look at updates on COVID-19 from across the world. Over 2.23 lakh coronavirus cases have been registered globally, with more than 7,84,000 deaths related to COVID-19. As many as 1.50 lakh people have recovered from the virus so far. COVID-19 cases have been shooting up in the United States, making it the worst hit by the pandemic country for several weeks now. United States has over 56,55,000 cases due to the virus, with the death toll now past 1,75,000. United States is now followed by South American country Brazil, which has recorded more than 1,10,000 deaths and has reported over 34,11,000 cases due to this particular coronavirus. Talking in terms of COVID-19 death toll worldwide, United States and Brazil are followed by Mexico, with the death toll there in that particular country now surging past 57,700. The World Health Organization, that's WHO, has urged wealthier nations to join the COVAX global vaccine facility for sharing vaccine hopefuls with developing countries. The WHO DG Tedros said he has sent a letter to WHO's 194 member states urging participation. The Global Health Agency also raised concerns that the pandemic spread was being driven now by younger people, many of whom were unaware they were infected, posing a danger to vulnerable groups. Tedros' push for nations to join COVAX comes as the European Union, Britain, Switzerland and the United States strike deals with companies testing prospective vaccines. Russia and China are also working on vaccines, and the WHO fears national interests could impair global efforts.
We want everybody to take a risk-based approach for themselves, to understand what is the risk themselves. We shouldn't be blaming people or putting people at fault for wanting to live their lives. We all want to be living our lives. We all want to get back to what quote-unquote normal used to be. But I think we just need to make sure that the messages that are getting out, particularly to young people, particularly to children and young adults, that you are not invincible to this virus.
Well, France will make face masks compulsory in most workplaces as it grapples with a resurgence in coronavirus cases. The new rule is likely to apply to all shared spaces in offices and factories where there is more than one employee present. The measure is set to begin on the 1st of September, where individual offices will be exempted. France has seen a sharp rise in coronavirus cases since July, and masks are already widely being used. France imposed one of Europe's strictest lockdowns in March, which was gradually lifted from the 11th of May. The region has registered more than 2,21,000 cases and over 30,000 deaths. Well, Mexico, which stands in the third spot in terms of deaths due to death toll globally, is now seeing a gradual decline after a significant drop in fatalities due to the coronavirus in the last 1 week. Mexico's health ministry recorded 4,020 additional fatalities from the virus, a decline of almost 20% from the previous 7-day period. Deputy Health Minister Lopez Gettel and President Andres Manuel Lopez have made a series of declarations about the government winning the fight against COVID-19, even as the pandemic continues to hit new records in Mexico. At the start of this month, Mexico for the first time registered over 9,000 new cases, posting one of its biggest daily tallies earlier this month. At present, only the United States and Brazil have registered more coronavirus fatalities than Mexico. The South American country has over 531,000 cases of COVID-19, along with more than 57,700 deaths being reported from the South American nation. Researchers at NASA are tracking a slowly splitting dent in the Earth's magnetic field that could be harmful for Earth-orbiting satellites. The split in the magnetic field can make particle radiation in this region knock out onboard computers and interfere with the data collection of satellite that passes through it. Here's more.
The protective layer fending off the deadly solar radiation is in peril. According to NASA, the Earth's magnetic field has a weak spot called the South Atlantic Anomaly, named after its location somewhere over South America and Southern Atlantic Ocean. This small but evolving dent in Earth's magnetic field can cause big headaches for satellites. Scientists at NASA are investigating the mysterious anomaly, a region of weakness in Earth's magnetic field that is growing in size. Particle radiation in this region can knock out onboard computers and interfere with data collection of satellites that passes through it. South Atlantic Anomaly is also of interest to NASA's Earth scientists who monitor the changes in magnetic field strength, both for how such changes affect Earth's atmosphere as an indicator of what's happening to Earth's magnetic fields deep inside the crust. The region can be hazardous for low Earth orbit satellites that travel through it. This can cause the satellite's functions to glitch temporarily or can cause permanent damage. The changing South Atlantic Anomaly provides researchers new opportunities to understand Earth's core and how its dynamics influence other aspects of the Earth system. To keep tabs on future challenges that could arise, space agencies like European Space Agency and NASA keeps tabs on the magnetic field's weakening. Tapush Bhattacharya's report, DD India.
Well, after all the heartache and disappointment, the humiliations and the gut-wrenching collapses, Paris Saint-Germain have finally done what it was designed to do. In Lisbon on Tuesday night, Paris Saint-Germain became the first French team to reach a Champions League final in 16 years. PSG cruised to a 3-0 victory against German club RB Leipzig to reach the UEFA Champions League final. PSG looked in control from the start at the Benfica Stadium of Light, with Marquinhos and Angel Di Maria scoring in the first half. Leipzig's hope of a comeback disappeared early in the second half, and a defensive error allowed Joan Bernat to stretch PSG's lead to 3-0. PSG is the first French club to reach the Champions League final since Monaco in 2004. Well, that's all we have time for in this edition of news, but remember to follow physical distancing at all times, also to wear your face mask while you get out of your house, washing your hands every 20 minutes if not possible, using a hand sanitizer to keep yourself clean. That's all we have time for. Thanks for watching.